We are back with another episode of Dark MAGA, believe it or not. Yes, we do Dark MAGA podcasts where we go over all the breaking news as well as headlines and long-form video that you need to know about on every Tuesday, Thursday evening. Now, why is it Tuesdays and Thursdays? Well, that means on Tuesdays, we're in the middle of the news cycle, and Thursdays, well, that's when the news cycle ends, so it's always great to catch the news cycle at the end during the evening. That means it's 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here where I live in California, but if you're on the East Coast, it is 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, meaning the news cycle has officially ended if you're over there on a Thursday. Now, today's Tuesday. I wish it was Thursday because that means, well, the week's almost over, and I think we all look forward to the weekends, but it's good to see all of you in the chat. It looks like there's a little bit of a hiccup happening over at YouTube. So if you're on YouTube, I think we're live. I'm not exactly sure. We do have chats coming in. So I'm going to have to assume, we are live on YouTube, but I cannot open up YouTube at all. So not sure what's going on over there, but it's good to see all of you in the chat. Greatly appreciate you. I think more than ever now you want to write in the chat because I cannot see it. So I can only see the chat that I have on my end. I cannot see Rumble's chat. I cannot see YouTube's chat. So now more than ever, make sure you say hello so I know who's actually here. With that being said, well, enough of me ranting and raving. Let's go ahead and jump into the news. And here we have Donald Trump's cabinet meeting. Went on for like 3 hours today. Bonkers. By the way, thank you for letting me know that YouTube is okay. Appreciate you, Candy and Bets in the chat. And Q's here as well. Always lovely to see everybody there. Well, we have here Trump's tariff poised to slash. This is an insane amount of money. This is a lot of money, a lot of moolah. President Trump's tariff policies have been projected by the Congressional Budget Office, the CBO, to reduce the U.S. federal deficit by $4 trillion over a decade. Based on a report released on August 22nd, 2025, the plan, stemming from increased tariffs on imports, could cut primary deficits by $3.3 trillion and interest payments by $700 billion. While Trump and supporters hail it as a fiscal triumph for his America First agenda, critics warn of potential downsides like inflation, lower economic growth, and retaliatory trade actions that might burden consumers. All of which is true, by the way. I mean, you can't really blame people for saying these things. It's not like they're wrong. It could increase inflation. I mean, because again, you are paying the price increase of whatever that tariff is on the production of the good, like the good itself, which, as we said, a portion of, if not all, does get passed on to the consumer depending on the negotiation between the two sides. But remember, you could bypass that if you just build in America. I think that's a big thing that is forgotten is you could bypass these tariffs as long as you're building here. Now, there's also the idea of inflation, because again, if it gets passed down onto all of us, well, then, you know, the cost of whatever is going to go up causes inflation. Slow economic growth, true, depending, and then retaliatory trade actions, absolutely. So it's not totally wrong, but let's see the clip here.
And I think we're going to see a bigger jump from August to September. So I think we could be on our way well over $500 billion, maybe towards the $1 trillion number. This administration, your administration, has made a meaningful dent in the budget deficit. The average budget deficit during this term is 26% less than the last 12 months under Biden. And even the CBO, and we don't agree with CBO on everything, as you said, last Friday, on a summer Friday, had to admit that they believe over the next 10 years, the budget deficit will be $4 trillion lower than they had previously scored. $4 trillion. 3.3 trillion of tariff income, 700 billion of lower interest costs, and I would expect that number could go up from here. So, Mr. President, your return to the White House marked the return of the American worker. Thank you for reclaiming Labor Day for the American people. You're growing the economy for everyone, especially the middle and lower income households who suffered disproportionately under the last administration. And it's an honor to do this under your leadership.
I mean, I guess some slashing is better than no slashing at all, right? I mean, that's always nice to see. I mean, a decade's a little long, man. I mean, I'm 36. Yeah, it's just I'm tired of seeing that $37 trillion continue to go up. I want to put my head through some drywall watching that thing just continue to increase. So look, I'm glad, but can we just figure out this budget just in general? It's ridiculous. It is out of hand. Again, matter of fact, let's just pull it up. Let's give people some heart attacks here. Let's see what the debt clock is at right now. It's always fun. Again, it's over 37 trillion. Probably sooner or later we'll pass into that. I don't know why I get this end here, but it's at $37.2 trillion. Our interest is over $1 trillion right now, just so you know. It will sooner or later be the biggest budget item, meaning it's going to surpass Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security and defense. By the way, we spend more on interest on our debt than we actually do defense. Meaning it goes Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, and then interest, then defense. Sooner or later, it's going to go Medicare, Medicaid, interest, Social Security, defense, and then interest will be the highest, line item in terms of largest budget items, which you're going to love because, look, let's just pretend, it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. Let's pretend that, these are as big as they are, which I guess we don't have to pretend they truly are. At least in some way, shape, or form, you're getting some sort of service back with Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, and defense. At least you're getting something in return. What do you get in return for interest? Nothing. I suppose those that have bonds or whatever, yeah, you'll get something in return. But most people, no, you don't get anything. So it's just money gone. Isn't that great? No service back, nothing. Oh, lovely. So you got there for you. That's always great. In other news here, where'd it go? I had it up here recently. Trump. Oh, you guys are this. I disagree with this. I disagree with Donald Trump on something. Here we go. And I want to see what you all think about this as well. So Donald Trump doubles Chinese student visas in trade pivot. I don't like this. I don't like it at all. And the rationale is very, very silly. It's very silly. So again, you guys are telling me that we're live on YouTube. I appreciate it. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. I can't load anything. So we're just going to have to stick with, we're going to have to stick. I guess we could do this. Maybe we could just pull up the chat like that. That's the only way I'm going to be able to see you guys. So let's do that. I could see everybody over at Rumble because it seems like Rumble always works. YouTube, on the other hand, no. Well, President Donald Trump, I don't know why I'm slurring today. It's been a long day. Donald Trump announced a plan to double Chinese student visas to 600,000, meaning that's bringing people from China over here to American education. And guess where they take all that knowledge? Yeah, back to their home country. Oh, that's lovely. No, that's a genius idea, Trump. Aiming to strengthen U.S.-China trade ties amid ongoing negotiations. No, I'm not exactly keen, Donald, on bringing over the Chinese to take advantage of our education system and then take that wealth of knowledge back to their home country and develop weapons and all this other stuff. Yeah, I'm just not really into it. The move, revealed during a press briefing, which we'll show you in one moment, seeks to bolster economic relations and support universities facing financial challenges. But it has drawn sharp criticism from Trump's base over potential security risks, espionage concerns, and conflicts with America First principles. Correct. Just want to point out, if you have a bunch of these feeder schools, that's what they're doing. So we'll explain this a little bit. There's more to this, I promise. Critics argue it could displace American students in STEM fields, highlighting tensions within his coalition as trade talks progress. Yeah, because we're getting outcompeted by the world is what's happening in terms of education. Student parents in China are harassed if students don't try to steal from us. Well, over there, they actually care about their education. That's one of the main issues. Over here, we don't care about our education. We say we do. But as somebody that's in education, trust me, we lower the bar so low in education, it's head spinning. No, they actually care about their education so much so that they compete at like elementary school to get into certain schools. And did you know their seating charts in the classroom are based on grade level? And that your entire family is frowned upon if you're in the back of the class. So you're always trying to get to the front of the class. So here's Trump on this. Listen to this carefully.
To allow 600,000 Chinese students to study in the United States. Could you and the Secretary clarify what is the policy on Chinese students in the United States?
Well, we think we're getting along very well with China. And I'm getting along very well with President Xi. I think it's very insulting to say students can't come here because they'll go out and they'll start building schools and they'll be able to survive it. But I like that their students come here. I like that other countries' students come here. And you know what would happen if they didn't? Our college system would go to hell very quickly. You'd have, and it wouldn't be the top colleges.
Listen to
it would
this.
be colleges that struggle on the bottom. And you take out 300,000 or 600,000 students out of the system. I like having, and I told this to President Xi, that we're honored to have their students here. Now, with that, we check and we're careful and we see who's there. And Marco wants that. We spoke, we're in the same position. But we have a tremendous college system, the best in the world. Nobody even close. That's why China sends them here. And you can call it an industry if you want, but you're talking about millions of people.
Listen to this.
And I'm honored to have students from China come here. And we're just getting along very well with China.
Did you hear the president's rationale on this? By the way, it's insane. I'm fully in disagreement with him here. And look, I still love the guy. I don't have to agree with everything he does. This is one of the first major things where I'm like, yeah, no, this is dumb. Listen to this.
Getting along very well with President Xi.
Listen to what he said about the not top 10%, bottom 15.
Students can't come here because they'll go out and they'll start building schools and they'll be able to survive it. But I like that their students come here. I like that other countries' students come here. And you know what would happen if they didn't? Our college
Listen to this rationale.
System would go to hell very quick.
Our system would, by the way, I'm almost positive. Isn't this talking about student visas? So I don't know if this is referring to our actual like K through 12. I thought this had to do with college. But listen carefully. I'm pretty sure it has to do with college.
You'd have, and it wouldn't be the top colleges. It would be colleges that struggle on the bottom. And you take out 300,000 or 600,000 students out of the system. I like having, and I told.
If you have colleges at the bottom 15%, and they're going to go out of business, okay. By the way, these 600,000 are not going to the bottom 15% of the schools. I don't think so. No. Not from China. Don't think so. And look, some of them will be. A lot of these students are going to high-dominated schools, which guess what? That displaces American students from those universities, and it pushes them down somewhere else. You only have so much room in these places. I understand there's online courses, but this is a problem. Big issue here. We're being outcompeted. And by the way, now we're feeding it. And you're going to, because the 15% of colleges aren't going to survive. Okay. It's a cost of doing business. You're going to import you're going to import 600,000 Chinese to fill in those places. And then they leave and take, again, that knowledge somewhere else. Not to mention the spying that goes on and everything else. I'm sorry, I don't like it. I want to know what you guys think on this. Remember, we're sometimes in disagreement, but let's go to the chat here. Let them go out of business. Yeah, thank you, Jeff. That's exactly where I'm at. Like, what the fuck? What do I care? I mean, look, it's terrible. It's somebody's job, but it's like, how often are we subsidizing these schools all the time that are spewing woke garbage? It's a huge breach of national security. Yeah. I got to play it again. I'm sorry. The rationale to me is mind blowing.
You know what would happen if they didn't? Our college system would go to hell very quickly.
It is already hell, Mr. President. People are majoring in lesbian dance theory, underwater basket weaving, gender theory. It's a huge scam. Folks, I know I hound this all the time, but it's frustrating. How is it the American IQ has dropped for the first time in a century, but there's more people graduating college than ever? That's an inverse effect. It's not possible. You want to know why it's possible? Because it's bullshit. It's dark MAGA. I could say that tonight. It's all a fraud. It's fake. It's fucking manipulated through the roof. And they're still failing out. It's crazy, man. Oh, well, to keep it going, we got to import people. Well, Mr. President, let's take that logic with illegal immigration. Isn't that what the fucking Democrats are saying, man? Oh, well, we can't deport these people because we need them. It's the same logic. That's crazy. And do you think having the illegal immigrants here is a national security threat? Yes. If your business can't stay afloat and you need to hire cheap labor like illegal immigrants, shouldn't your business fail? Yes. It's all logical. It's all linear. I love the guy to death. Doesn't mean I have to agree with him. What the hell? But what happened to college left? Would any America get seats? Oh, that's a question. Think I got my education in the 80s and 90s? Yeah. Well, there, let's actually, this is Nick Fuentes. I don't know much about, I've heard weird things about that guy. Wild. International students in the U.S. So share of international students, rest of the world, China and India. That's always fun. So, international students in U.S. origin. Mental gymnastics. Yep. It's unbelievable, man. I want to see what other people said on this. I want to see somebody else here. Let's see what they said here on a national report.
And this should shock no one. So the report came out. It said right now in the United States of America, at one of our universities, there is an organized, orchestrated spy ring. To put this in perspective, when I got here,
Can I just pause it? It totally just reminded me of something. Do y'all remember the biologics, the chemicals that they brought into Michigan State? While this is playing, we had Chinese nationals bringing in biologics that would wipe out our crop, like completely annihilate a bunch of it. I gotta check it here. I'll find it for you. Let's continue.
Said when I was told that there was a Chinese law in place that required Chinese nationals, including students that come to the United States on visas, and by the way, we take 300,000 Chinese students a year into our universities. There's a law in the books that says they have to provide intelligence gathering and information to the CCP. We also had information in Congress before I even got here that they were setting up these programs to organize spies and push them into our universities using visas. And when I got here and realized that there was no law stopping the visa program, even though we had that information, I immediately launched a bill that would end visas for Chinese students. Now, nothing against Chinese students that want to learn, but if you have a government that is enlisting them, and not just enlisting them, requiring them by law under penalty to be espionage agents when they get here, we cannot keep inviting them into our nation. And so time after time over the last few years, we have found Chinese students with drones, cameras on our military bases, stealing information at our universities, and nothing has been done. So when this report came out 2 days ago, I was not surprised because we launched this bill and we've been advocating and trying to get someone's attention that there were spy rings here right now. Now, hopefully, we will see some action, not only by the university that's been informed of this, where their students saying it's happening, but by the government to do an investigation.
Look, she's not wrong. And again, here is the that point that I wanted to make. Let me see if I can find it here really quick. Right here. Do y'all remember this? We covered this. God, I always want to say like it's a month ago. It's probably a while ago. It's from in June. Check this out. Y'all remember this? Oh, this doesn't help me at all. Well, geez, please. Okay, so the FBI just confirmed that U.S. authorities stopped a terrorist scheme by 2 Chinese Communist Party agents to smuggle a toxic fungus into a Michigan lab that could have wreaked havoc on the American food production. There's the end. You guys remember us covering this? We're just getting 600,000. I don't get it. I really don't. You gotta let things fail. Mr. President, you gotta let things fail. It's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. I don't trust the Chinese government. Are you crazy? The Chinese don't even trust the Chinese government. I mean, I don't even trust our own government. I got trust issues. All righty, where that's going on. The other thing that's blown up here is, and this is all I'm going to say about it. Taylor Swift got engaged. I personally don't care. People are blowing this way out of proportion. 2 people got engaged. Who cares? It's like ESPN's covering. Everybody's covering it. It's like, they got engaged. Happens to everybody. Who cares? That's it. All right. That's enough of me talking about it. All right. Well, Trump's, again, surge. We covered that. So I want to make sure if those are just joining us, we covered that. Cracker Barrel's back. Oh, boy. So we'll cover this definitely tomorrow morning on the Ball Brad show. But check this out, you guys. They're back. We got more updates for you. Cracker Barrel Old Country Store reversed its modern logo redesign. They reversed it after unveiling it on August 20th. In less than a week, They've completely reversed the image. Amid fierce customer backlash, the original logo featuring the iconic old-timer figure was restored following accusations of woke betrayal. Stock drops exceeding. Remember, it was 100 million? Last we covered was 100 million. Updated 143 million, and calls from President Donald Trump and conservative activists. The controversy highlighted tensions over the chain's heritage and diversity initiatives, underscoring the power of the customer outrage in a polarized market. Absolutely. This is a good logo. America First, Cracker Barrel, Donald Trump. Absolutely love that. AI is doing remarkable things. This is a good image. I would go eat at Cracker Barrel. Yeah, if you put Donald Trump up there. By the way, just for a little bit PR stunt, have Donald Trump there. That'd be phenomenal. But this is a problem when you inject politics into everything. Well, now when you make a decision, now you got to pick between two sides. And look, one side's always louder than the other, and it's usually coming from the progressive left. To be fair, a lot of Americans would have still eaten at Cracker Barrel. When time goes by, people are just going to eat there. They forget, the news cycle changes. It's in the past. But a lot of backlash what do you do? I forgot what it was in business school. There's this phrase of like, it's easy to get new customers or something like that, but it's hard getting old customers back. I forgot which one it was. It was vice versa. But look, once you use $143 million, people already have that sour taste in their mouth, and you just throwing up the old sign again doesn't really do much. Once you slap somebody across the face, it's pretty hard, and it's going to take time for healing and forgiving. And look what happened to Bud Light. They still haven't fully recovered from that. We're talking how long now? And people still, I still, not that I drink it anyways. I think it's piss water, but that's here nor there. Some of you really love Bud Light. People have not gone back to it, like whatsoever. And they will never touch a Bud Light ever again. It's really difficult to get those people back. So not sure. I haven't had Cracker Barrel in about 15 years. And somebody told me they're in California. I did not know that. Look, I might go. It's been a long time myself. I don't go out of state too much. I used to go all the time when I played hockey, but not really all that much. But anyways, let's see what people are saying here. Wow, a brutal behind the scenes look at what happened with Cracker Barrel. A top investor tried to warn them 4 times that they were doing was folly. He even made a 120-page presentation to illustrate that they were about to do would be disastrous. No way. Is that real? Wow. Cracker Barrel CEO dismissed warnings from a top investor who called the rebranding obviously fault. Wow. Well, hey, doesn't this give a little bit, like, it takes time, but doesn't it build more credibility on my opinion and my thinking, my theory that these psychos in these big corporations will cripple your company all to push an objective? It doesn't matter how much money's lost. It really doesn't. And I'm not even sure it was her decision to bring back the original logo. You lost the company 140, and by the way, you get to keep your job. Isn't that crazy? I think one guy was fired. I think the guys who ran it, I believe he was actually let go. There was a post that I saw that was allegedly him. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't really flushed that out. Isn't that crazy? She gets to keep her job. You got 143 million, and she's still showing up to work. That's how the woke thinks, though. Oh boy, look at this. Here's a 1-minute recap of all the ages Nashville Pride event that Cracker Barrel sponsored. Really? Let's go. Okay, nope, yep, we're not watching that. Okay, that's icky. All right, moving on. Cracker Barrel employee confirms their business is way down because their woke is destroying their heritage. Well, here we go. Let's check it out.
Hey y'all, so as y'all can see, I work at Cracker Barrel as a waitress, and we're struggling. You see all these people? We all got here at 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Well, I got here at 4, and I've only had 3 tables tonight.
Whoa.
Everybody has had 2 or 3 tables max. I say at least 9 tables their whole shift. Tonight, I've only had 3 tables, and I've made $13 total. So, yeah, Cracker Barrel, what are we doing? What? Something's got to give, y'all. People got families to feed.
That's ballsy, though, dude, to film at work like that and basically kind of updating the public. And this feeds into it, by the way. The problem with doing this, again, there's this idea of herd mentality. I'm actually teaching this in finance right now. Herd mentality, FOMO, what else? There's loss aversion. There's all sorts of biases that mess with the psyche of the human brain. people see this and go, oh, well, if other people are boycotting it, well, screw that. I'm not going to show up either then. I'm going to add on to it, to the herd mentality. This could actually damage. And by the way, if this goes viral, I'm curious how many views this has. 353,000 views just on this one post. If this goes viral, by the way, she could legitimately have cost this company hundreds and thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, just by posting this. That's nuts, man. And by the way, I'm not calling for her to lose her job, and nor do I think she should. But the conversation should be sat down with her and say, "Hey, this is the problem that you cannot be posting like this. This is not good." So, one thing I will say is it looks very clean in that kitchen. So that I will give them. Kudos on the cleanliness. I do like that. That's nice to know that you guys. I mean, look at the floor and how clean that is, right? I'll give them that credit where credit's due. But I always think it's important to see the town square and what people are saying. That looks like AI. I'm not going to trust it. Yep. There you go, boys. There's another one for you. I always love the screenshot. This went so viral a while ago. I feel bad for the CB staff. Yeah, I mean, they're taking a hit, right? I mean, that's the thing, is that when you're kind of high up in the company, you know, whatever decisions you make are going to affect everybody else down below you. And it sucks. I love Bud's old me too, Bets. Bud's old Super Bowl commercials, probably for different reason though, Bets, for me. I miss the old school, remember the old Bud Light? All the guys know this. You know, you go over to the boy's house, you know, you're a young man, you're like 12, 13, and you go into your friend's dad's garage, right, where all like the weightlifting machines are at and stuff like that, and you look up in the rafters, there's just a bunch of Bud Light posters with chicks in bikinis, and you're just like, hell yeah, this is so manly and awesome, she's a total babe. Or like the cliche 80s where you had like the women's poster right above your bed, it's like 3 feet from your face, and you're just looking at boobies the entire time. Case in point, what's on your screen right now? Going back to old Americana. This is what woke looks like. This is what conservatism looks like, baby. It's two different things. But it is true. It is true. A lot of us just miss what we grew up with. And well, the progressive left are ideally the ones that are trying to destroy it. Sounds like Cracker Barrel is going belly up. Yeah, we'll see. Excuse me. I think they'll rebound. Yeah. Again, this is, everything's very reactionary. People freak out. They'll go to Cracker Barrel. They'll get some Cracker Barrel sooner or later. But it's true. So there you go. Bud Light. I mean, look. What do you know that's common here? They both seem like psycho Karens. No offense, Karen. We love you. But psycho Karens. Like woke. Look, you're trying to be hip. You're trying to be youthful again. You're probably in your 60s. It's just, look, you gotta just, at least she's keeping the gray hair, but you gotta play your age. You know what I mean? You gotta play your age. So there's that. But man, they're getting ripped apart right now. Oh boy. They are getting ripped apart. I have a degree in marketing. Doesn't bother me. Good stuff you do with do what clients want. Yeah. This is rough. But not wrong. So that's what we have with Cracker Barrel. Looks like they reversed their image back, but you got a lot of work to do. But damn, 143. By the way, they're public, right? So let me see this really quick. Let me go to Yahoo Finance really quick. Cracker. Oh, baby. Here we go. You guys ready for this? It says they're up right now. So in 1 month, they lost 12%. But look, once they reversed their image, bam. See that spike? Very reactionary. So it looks like they're going to climb back. I don't think they'll stay like that. Here's 5 days. I have this right. Cracker Bundle, right? This is correct. So it doesn't look like they took too much of a hit. You can see where it happened. Yeah, they're bouncing back. Oh, 5 year. Look at that 5 year projection. Damn. Hey, well, maybe that's why. Maybe that's why they're like, hey, we need to do a rebranding here. Look what happened here. Oh man. Yeesh. I mean, they definitely peaked right before COVID, and then COVID happened, and they peaked again. But ever since this, since 2021, it has been just downhill. So for the last 4 or 5 years, maybe that's why, you guys, maybe that's why they said, hey, we need to rebrand this. Jeez, that's a kick in the nuts. Who is president then, you guys? Who is president? Who was president when it went up? Who was president when it went down? Yeah. I think it might have been Joey. Yep. Maybe that's why, because Joe Biden was on the front of Cracker Barrel and they wanted to get rid of him. See, it's all about perspective. It's all about perspective. Maybe that was Joe that they want to get rid of. They were so tired of thinking about Joe Biden and his disastrous policies on why their company went belly up that they were like, we need to rebrand it. And with that thinking, by the way, it sounds kind of nice now, right? It sounds kind of like you almost want to get that biscuits and gravy. So, well, there's that for you. Speaking of, well, I don't really have a transition here. I just have this video clip for you. A White House correspondent thanks Trump for cracking down on D.C. crime after revealing she's been robbed and pistol whipped outside her apartment. I mean, there's a transition for you, huh? Go from Cracker Barrel to Joe Biden to this.
My name is Iris Talman, White House correspondent for MTV, the sister media of the Epoch Times. So more than 2 years ago, it was a Saturday morning in broad daylight. I was on my way to work, and a young man with a black ski mask pointed a gun at my face and threatened me to hand over my phone, my wallet, my laptop, and everything else. And when I refused, he used the butt of his handgun to strike me across the face, in the cheek, or what some people call pistol whip me, before running away. And that has deeply traumatized myself and my family. Ever since, I've never dared to walk in the street of D.C.
I can't believe she was doing that anyways as a young woman. I'll tell you what, I don't let my wife walk around certain areas by herself. And if she's adamant about it, I will go out there with her. There's certain areas in California, it ain't happening, man. And if she does go out with the ladies to, like, say LA, I request that about every 30 minutes to an hour, I get an update saying I'm okay. I don't need anything more than that. Just I'm okay. Peace of mind. I would never let my wife walk around the streets of DC ever. I mean, by the way, ballsy move to say no when there's a gun pointed at your freaking head with a cell phone and a wallet. By the way, can we just say, if this happens to any of you, you give up your wallet and cell phone. It ain't worth your life. If you think your life is more than your freaking wallet and cell phone, your head ain't on straight. You give it to him. Who cares? Have it.
Night ever, and my family was extremely worried. So, Mr. President, thank you so much for what you're doing right now.
Thank you for being honest.
Such incidents involve not just me, but also my family. If he had shot me, I could have died right there in the middle of nowhere without my families or my friends knowing at the age of back then, I think 23.
Right.
Just starting my career here in DC without even starting a family. Right now, I'm very blessed to have this opportunity.
So you had a gun pointed at your head, and you probably figured that he's going to pull the trigger because these are animals that don't know what the hell. They couldn't care less. Yep.
Now the media is going to go after him for calling them animals, right? How could you call these people animals? They need to make a living. They got to live. They got to eat. Right? Because he's idiot. There's just a bunch of idiots in the media.
Pulling the trigger to him is a very minor event, and I'm sure he's done it before. So how did you? And you did refuse to give it, which would probably, maybe somebody would say that was not the right decision, right? But you refused, but I understand that. So, and then he hit you real hard.
Yes.
It's really amazing that you weren't shot.
I'm very blessed, and that's why I have this opportunity to stand here to share my story today. One, I'm very grateful for God for allowing me to still survive to this day, but also to Mr. President. Thank you for now making DC safer.
Thank you very much.
For us, for our families, for my parents, on behalf of my parents, and now my baby on the way. Thank you so much.
Wow.
And there are other reporters and journalists, good people, and you don't have to say it, but that have also been attacked violently. And not violently, too, pretty badly. But, and I bet you see a big difference in the streets right now. And this is only 12 days, but people are telling me they're going out to dinner now. You know,
it's weird. You have this young lady here, right? Saying, hey, she got attacked and all these other things. Where's the left at on this? I thought we were supposed to be for all the women, right? Hashtag Me Too movement or hashtag Believe All Women. Where's the media at on this? One of their own, by the way. It just shows you how disgusting these people are, right? It's literally one of their own. They're like part of a tribe, right? It's one of their own that was attacked, and you would have never known that. You would have never known. I mean, DC's been crippled for years. Who knows when that actually took place? Where was all her colleagues? It just shows they're just a bunch of animals over there too. They don't care. They don't care at all. Even Elon Musk is saying, "Wow, unbelievable." Really is unbelievable. Jeff did bring up a good point. Let me see where that was at. Something about Brandon Johnson. I did see something earlier. Did you see Brandon Johnson in Chicago said they will stand up to the National Guard if deployed in Chicago? I did see something earlier. Matter of fact, let me see if we could pull that up here really quick. I don't know if I retweeted that, but let me see if I could find that. I did see that earlier today. If you were here in the morning podcast, Brandon Johnson's a little bit of he got on my nerves, we'll say. At least here was what was 4 hours ago. I don't know if this is the clip, but I have another one after this from Joe Scarborough when he was on MSNBC. So here we go. So I got 2 clips of Brandon Johnson to show you.
Threats that seem like a reference to the group that often speaks during city council meetings during public comment. What do you think about how that group has apparently drawn the White House's attention and how it's being used as a pretext to crack down here on Chicago?
Look, here's what I'm paying attention to. I'm paying attention to the things that are actually working. Right? I'm paying attention to the 31,119 young people that have summer jobs. We're paying attention to the 4,000 affordable homes that we've built, and we're on pace to build 10,000. I'm paying attention to the work that we're doing to provide mental health support services. I'm paying attention to how we're going to actually make sure that working people can thrive in this city. The reason why we're experiencing the positive trends is because we're actually doing the work that works. That's the most important thing to note here.
What a spin.
As we continue to invest in communities that have been historically disinvested in, that's how we drive violence down. The federal government has a responsibility to do its part.
That's how you drive violence down, is making sure people get jobs. Gotcha. Okay. I was told by the left, like Sam Seeger, for example, that that wasn't a thing. I was told what he's talking about in terms of it's spoken of a few. Maybe I misspoke with Sam Cedar, but I'm trying to reach back in my memory. It's tough. But there's people that say, so take that one with a grain of salt. There's some people that say like, oh, well, there is no correlation between poverty and crime. But he's saying that there is. It's weird. I'm hearing like 2 different things, and from the left.
By funding education, funding Medicaid, funding SNAP, supporting our veterans. That's the work that the federal government should do. That's what we're calling for in Chicago and in cities across America.
What do you hear from Black Chicagoans, and do you think those people who he apparently cited speak for the community?
Well, look, here's what I do know of someone who lives on the west side of Chicago. We want investment. We want investment. That's why we put forth a $1.25 billion economic development plan. That's investment. It's why we put millions of dollars into providing dignity for those who are without homes. It's why we have spent millions of dollars into our behavior and mental health care services. The city of Chicago has funded the Chicago Public Schools by a tune of $1 billion.
Isn't it crazy? This guy's boasting about him just wasting not your money, but all their money. They're just boastful about it. So here he is on MSNBC.
Would that help drive down?
Check this out.
I'm curious, would you also like to get federal funding to help put 5,000 more cops on the street in Chicago? Would that help drive down crime?
Well, look, policing by itself is not the full strategy.
No, I understand that. You've talked about the other things you want, and I said those are good and important programs, but I'm asking also, would 5,000 more police officers on the street in Chicago be helpful to go along with all of those social programs that a lot of cities are engaging in and having success with?
Well, look, here's the best way I can put it, Joe, is that in the 90s when I was in high school, we had 3,000 more police officers and we had 900 people being murdered every single year in Chicago. It's just not policing alone. Of course, we want more detectives.
I know it's not policing alone, but I know it's not policing alone. You've told me everything else you want. I'm curious, and this does come down to an ideological difference between people. Do you believe that the streets of Chicago would be safer if there were more uniformed police officers on the streets of Chicago?
Yes.
I believe the city of Chicago and cities across America would be safer if we actually had
affordable housing. Look,
okay,
I'm not saying that
that's not the question I asked. My question is, and I just need a yes or a no, do you believe the streets of Chicago would be safer if you got all of those other extraordinary...
Tell me he went through the Chicago education system. Tell me this guy went through the Chicago education system. He's bragging about, we spent $1 billion on Chicago education. He didn't get educated, and he's the mayor. I'm telling you, how many years have you guys heard me spew this? If you suck at your job, you get elevated. If you're an idiot in the Democrat Party and you suck at your job, you'll be elevated to the highest levels of office. Gavin Newsom, Nancy Pelosi, Adam Schiff, Chuck Schumer, Lori Lightfoot, this guy, Brandon Johnson. I mean, the list goes. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris.
Programs put back into place, which do have a history of being successful, if that's complemented by having 5,000 more cops on the streets of Chicago.
I don't believe that we should narrow it down to just police officers, Joe, is what I'm saying. That is an antiquated approach. I'm saying we've invested in detectives.
Mr. Mayor, are you hearing what I'm saying? I'm agreeing with you that all of these other social programs are extraordinarily important. I just need a yes or a no, and then this will be the last time I ask. If you get all of those other social programs that 800 million that New York City does, Los Angeles, other people do with great success, would an additional 5,000 cops on the streets in Chicago help complement those programs to make Chicago safer?
Look, we are working hard to make sure that our police department is fully supported. I don't believe that just simply putting out an arbitrary number around police officers is the answer.
This is the best they got. Everybody come in, powwow. Powwow time. Yep, come in. Now, majority of us don't live in Chicago, but Jerry just took the words out of my mouth. I'm telling you, we have the best community. We all think alike here. It kind of makes sense why Chicago is just falling apart, right? I mean, doesn't it? When you look at this idiot, he's an idiot. Well, I don't think I'm being rude. I think we're all in agreement. The guy's an idiot. I mean, the obvious answer was yes, right? It was a simple question, but it was a layup of a question. It kind of makes sense why it's just falling apart, because this is the guy running the show. It kind of made sense why our country was falling apart, right? Because if you look at Joe Biden, it made sense, right? If the head is just not knowing what is going on, well, everything else below it operates off the head. This guy's head so far up his ass, he hasn't seen daylight in quite some time. He can't even answer simple questions that are layups. And by the way, I don't know why he won't admit that it's a good thing. I really don't. It's the oddest thing to me. It's as if like they hate police officers or something. I don't know. Maybe they do. Maybe they do. Oh, thank you pretty much, Blackbird. I appreciate that. Vote for he's an idiot. Yeah. Thanks for the $1, dude. I appreciate that. Well, we got that Brandon Johnson here, National Guard clip that Jeff was talking about. Here we go. I mean, we're just kind of beating up Brandon Johnson today, huh?
That he wants troops to do. They don't even have the authority to do it. They have no arresting powers.
The mayor responding to President Donald Trump, who said he'll be expanding National Guard deployments to cities other than Washington.
Chicago's a mess. You have an incompetent mayor, grossly incompetent.
I can't wait.
And we'll straighten that one out probably next. That'll be our next one after this.
The president's Oval Office comments come as Chicago police data shows overall crime since the first of the year is down 13% compared to the same period last year, and violent crime is down 23%.
I think he wants to provoke violence, because if he can provoke violence, then it's going to be martial law.
Turning the federal military on American citizens is a sign of authoritarianism.
The president claiming many in Chicago want the Guard.
Screaming for us to come. They're wearing red hats, just like this one. But they're wearing red hats. African-American ladies, beautiful ladies are saying, please, President Trump, come to Chicago.
Thank you, President Donald Trump, for hearing us.
Zoe Lee and Daniel Carter Walters founded the conservative group Chicago Flips Red and says despite CPD's numbers, many don't feel safe.
And if the Democrat Party, only thing they can do to help us is tell us crime is down.
She's pretty. This is what happens. I guarantee you when she was a Democrat, she didn't look this good. No way. This is an overnight glow up because she became a conservative. She's a Trump supporter. She knows. She knows what I'm talking about.
Then, hey, we welcome the National Guard.
I like her. Hell yeah, dude. So there you have it. Brandon Johnson. That's okay. Let them continue to cripple their own state. It's fine. It's like New York. What is this all about? What are they saying here? Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson now calling on citizens of Chicago to rise up. What?
We're going to remain. And so, look, we're going to remain firm. We'll take legal action. But the people of this city are accustomed to rising up against tyranny. And if that's necessary, I believe that the people of Chicago will stand firm alongside of me as I work every single day to protect the people of this city.
By the way, can I address something that I haven't addressed in a while? And have you guys seen Key and Peele? The two guys that do those comedic skits? Am I the only one that's picking up on this, that he looks like one of them too? I don't know if it's which one it is, Key or Peele. Hold on a second. No. This is Dark Maga. This is where we get to do stuff like this. Hold on. Key and Peele. He looks like one of the guys from Key and Peele. Let's see. I don't know if I'll be able to find it in real time, but you guys know what I'm talking about, right? He looks kind of like, let me see, hold on a second. He looks like this guy right here, but like when he's wearing a wig. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about, right? There's a specific picture. I'll see if I can find it where he looks exactly like this guy. Crazy.
And so,
well, there you have it. Brandon Johnson, crippling Chicago. You know what? Matter of fact, let's just do this. What are the current crime statistics in Chicago? Let's just see here really quick. Let's see how you heard it from the horse's mouth, right? He's the one that's keeping people safe. He's cleaning up the streets. That's the same guy that probably says the Maryland man's an amazing person. But let's just kind of see how they're doing over there in Chicago with this nut job at the helm. They'll keep voting for him and then they'll complain about it. They need Donald Trump in there is what they need to clean up the streets. I can't wait, dude. I'll be streaming, watching the Humvees come in, and playing the what you want, what you gonna do? Shut me now, man, come for you. Look at that. First half of 2025 saw homicides drop 32% to 188 with shootings down 39%. Wow. So they're actually seeing the crimes go down. Maybe he has a point here. Maybe he is fixing the crime in Chicago. We'll see, though. I'm pulling it up for you a moment. It's doing a bunch of analysis. Ever see the MMA skits they did? They are the best. They're so funny. Yeah, Key and Peele are hilarious. Hilarious. But he looks like the guy from Key and Peele. Yeah, thank you, Krager. I think Krager's referring to what I said. Nailed it. Yeah. He does. But I've noticed that for a long time. I just never said anything because, you say something, then you're racist, right? You're bigot. How could you? Like, shut up. Give me a break. Give me a break. It's taking a long time to pull up these crime statistics. So while we're waiting, might as well jump into some other stuff here. I always love this. I'm trying to, if you haven't noticed, I'm trying to show you guys more clips because I felt like I left that out really in today's morning episode. So I want to kind of make sure, we cleanse the palate a little bit. One thing we have not seen a lot from is Scott slapped around CNN. I mean, what's going on, Scott? I don't know why Scott Jennings has not been slapping around CNN real bit. Let me see if I can find you a clip. I have not seen the latest of him just slapping around. There hasn't been much, unfortunately, you guys. I know it's terrible. I don't know where Scott's been slapping around CNN, but we need more Scott Jennings. There has not been much. Let's go into some other clips here. Where was it? There's something I wanted to show you guys. Let me see if I could find it really quick. Yeah, this one right here. Here we go. This has the connection with the DC and Chicago stuff. So check this out. This was during the what do you call it? The my brain's not working. The cabinet meeting.
Somebody murders something in the Capitol. Capital punishment. Capital punishment. If somebody kills somebody in the Capitol, Washington, D.C., we're going to be seeking the death penalty. And that's a very strong preventative. And everybody that's heard it agrees with it. I don't know if we're ready for it in this country, but where you have it, it is, we have no choice. So in D.C. and Washington, states are going to have to make their own decision. But if somebody kills somebody, like you could have been killed, very lucky you didn't get killed, it's the death penalty.
Now, this is going to upset those that are pro-life in some way, shape, or form. I am actually pro-death penalty. I think that you sacrifice, you give up your life if you take somebody else's. I know we're not supposed to do an eye for an eye, but, you had an opportunity to, live life the way you chose. You decided to delete somebody. Well, you get deleted too. I guess there's a conversation to be had. Well, you deserve to rot in prison, but some of these prisons are pretty nice. Yeah, some of them aren't that bad. Betts brought it up. Did you hear the Maryland man is going to Uganda? Did you cover it this morning show? I did. Was it confirmed, though, that he is, in fact, going to Uganda? It was a possibility that he is, but let me see if there's any updates for all of you on that. I don't want to... That's a tough thing about Dark MAGA is, remember when I tell you guys when I come home, I do show prep, so I can't, show you everything for tomorrow's episode. You know what I mean? I gotta keep some in the reservoir a little bit, or else you're just gonna see two of the same show. You know what I mean? You just see two of the same. I can't do that to you guys. You deserve good content the next morning. Well, I'm not seeing any updates that he was in fact sent, but you guys will let me know in the chat here. I just know that he is a possibility of Uganda. So here's the most up-to-date thing I got on the guy. Okay, this is as of 3 minutes ago. Where am I at here? Okay, so Abreu Garcia heard saying 2 words during ICE arrest. A video posted by the Department of Homeland Security on Monday can be heard saying 2 words. I don't know, corrupto. All right, whatever. Meaning corrupt government. He must be talking about somebody else because I know he ain't talking about us. In the footage, the Salvadorian man is been bound by restraints while being escorted by an individual wearing a vest that reads police ICE. We must be, see, it's always somebody else's fault, right? We're the corrupt one for making sure that somebody doesn't break our laws. Yeah, it's always the law-abiding people that are the assholes. The non-abiding one, well, they get to do whatever they want. That's pretty much how at least it's ran in the Democrat Party. So he doesn't belong here. He won't be staying here. America is a safer nation without this MS-13 gangbanger in it. Good riddance. Yes. Do you notice, and I don't know if you guys caught on to this, I don't know if the media is playing into this. Do you notice that every photo of this guy is showing without his hands? They always show this side with no tattoos. Have you guys caught onto that already? I noticed this, see, again, it's always waist up. Do you notice they will never, you'll find images of it, but for the most part, when they're covering this guy, let me see if I can find more images for you. They will not. They will try their best not to show from the waist down. Like this one they will, but look. What does he have covered? Look at the way his hands are. Do you notice that? They will always show this side of him because all his tats are on this side. And either his hands are always cuffed like this and turned. Do you notice that? Yeah, see, they're down so you can't get a good glimpse of him. You can easily show his hands. Waist up, waist up. I'll just continue to scroll down. Like waist up. Look at this. Waist up. You guys see this? It's like every photo. This one shows a little bit, right? But covered. They'll show that one because it's covered. It's remarkable. It really is. Here's that traffic stop. Democrats have chosen a human trafficker as their hero, suspect of human trafficking, which we saw. I'm just trying to find more images for you guys. Let's go to media. Is anybody else? I'm looking at the chat. Is anybody else caught onto that yet? It's crazy. This is the only one that I saw with the hands, right? And people don't understand that this is symbolic of MS-13. But other than that, if you scroll through, you'll notice the same thing. Look at this. Hands covered, right? I mean, everywhere.
Sisters.
Bottom up. I'll keep going through these all day long. Look at this. Shot him from this side, right? Hands hooked again, slightly, so you can't see. It's fascinating. It really is fascinating. Look at, from this side again. From this side again, they cover this side if you notice. Just want to point that out. It covered it again. This side's being not shown. It's like every image is not willing to show. It's like a conspiracy, man. Finally, we got this one. Here we go. Finally, we got it. There they are. There's the knuckies. There's the knuckles. There's the knuckles. Yep. We got one. So we'll see, though. Allegedly, according to him, he is, here's him with his family. By the way, he doesn't speak a lick of English, just to let you know. He doesn't speak any English. I just want to point out, allegedly, this guy beat the crap out of his family. And they're like super stoked he's back. So supposedly just beat the shit out of him. Look, I'm glad the kids got their father back, but I don't know how good that is if you're beating the crap out of him, but I don't know. That's what I've been told, allegedly. Allegedly, he's a good guy. So, we'll see. Yeah, thank you. Nice catch. Yeah. I'm not saying it's every image, but I mean, dude, as popular as this guy is, really? You keep scrolling, dude. So we've been scrolling for quite some time. We found maybe 2 images. One of them was the old one. This one, look at hands not even shown. Again, I could go through all of these. We found one new one. As popular as this guy is, really? Folks, look how many images we're having to go through. This is nuts. We did watch the rest video. We just watched this one. You talking about this one? He covered his hands. He's covering his hands. So, are you talking about the traffic stop? He spoke English in a traffic stop? Really?
Van Hollen changes to back through this.
Gotcha. Okay.
Oh, he did. Oh, he did. You're right.
Here, don't you?
He does speak English. I stand corrected.
146. Yes. Go back to work. Gotcha. Where are you working at? Where?
San Luis, Missouri.
Missouri?
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I'm from Maryland.
Where do y'all live at?
Where I live? I live in Maryland.
Maryland?
Yeah, also here.
Whose vehicle is it?
What, excuse me?
Whose car is it?
It's to my boss.
Your boss?
My boss, yeah.
Where's he live? Where's your boss live?
My boss right now is staying in Maryland, but we live in Texas.
Okay.
In Houston, Texas.
After talking to...
I don't know if I've watched that whole video before. Interesting. Or I completely forgot. So he does speak English. Look at that. I've been manipulated by the media. Fascinating. Just fascinating. There's something else I wanted to cover here. This is breaking as well from a lot of stuff. Again, this cabinet meeting, man. That stream of the cabinet meeting was like 3 hours long. I ain't watching that whole thing. Well, RF Kennedy Jr. exposes autism surge. I'll never forget that when he brought this up, it was like 1 in 32 kids or something like that was autistic, or like it was some crazy number. I didn't believe him. It's 1 in 30. Look at that. 1 in 31 kids. We're breaking this down. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., with President Donald Trump's support, announced that his agency has identified potential interventions causing the dramatic rise in autism rates from 0.7 per 10,000 children in 1970. So we're 50 years later, to 1 in 31 today. Yeah, no, I wasn't pulling your legs. I just got it wrong, but at least I admit it, though. Yeah, I'm sorry. So Karen said, I thought you were pulling our legs when you said Maryland man can't speak English. I've only ever heard him speak Spanish, even when like somebody's speaking English to him. It's okay. That's the problem doing public stuff like this. You get to look like an idiot every now and then. See, Brad, I never lie. I trust you guys. That's why I look at the chat. I get things wrong all the time. Yeah. I think that's why it's important you guys correct me. No, it's good. I appreciate it. It's embarrassing for me, don't get me wrong, but it happens. I'm a human being. Just gotta let it go. Promising a full reveal in September, Kennedy frames this as a national crisis driven by environmental factors amid fear. What does he mean by that? If this mother says climate change, amid fierce scientific skepticism and social media debates over genetic versus toxins, critics accuse him of promoting unproven theories while cutting related research funding, heightening controversy as families and experts await evidence. Isn't that crazy though, dude? To 1 in 31 today.
If I could just, I don't want to go too long because we have a lot of people, but the autism is such a tremendous horror show, what's happening in our country and some other countries, but mostly our country. How are you doing on that?
We are doing very well. We will have announcements as promised in September. We're finding certain interventions now that are clearly, almost certainly causing autism. And we're going to be able to address those in September.
It's such a big day. I'm looking forward to that day because there's something wrong when you see the kind of numbers that you have today versus 20 years ago. And those numbers, what are those numbers, Bob?
Well, in 1970, the biggest epidemiological study in history was done in Wisconsin. They looked at 900,000 children, and they were looking for autism. They knew what it looked like, and they were very, very precise about it, and they found an incident rate of 0.7, in other words, less than 1 per every 10,000 children. Today, our most recent numbers are 1 in every 31 kids. It's probably actually much worse than that because California, which has the best collection system, is reporting 1 out of every 19 children, American children, has autism, 1 in every 12.5 boys. So it's gone from 1.
What? Basically 1 in 13 boys is autistic now?
Is reporting 1 out of every 19 children, American children, has autism, 1 in every 12.5 boys. So it's gone from less than 1 in 10,000 in 1970 to 1 in 12.5 boys.
Think of those numbers. So there has to be something artificially causing this, meaning a drug or something. And I know you're looking very strongly at different things, and I hope you can come out with that as soon as possible.
We will.
So 1 in 10,000, and now it's 1 in 31 or 34 or 12 if it's a boy. Can you imagine that? 1 in 12. That's for a boy.
1 in every 12.5 boys.
It's not even believable that could be.
Not.
And that was 1 in 10,000 not so long ago. I've been hearing these numbers.
It's so look. It's a number that I don't even know if I can believe. That's the thing. I even struggle with 1 in 31. That's insane, man. That's a huge, by the way, this has all sorts of outgrowths to it in terms of job placement. Remember, there is a now take this with a grain of salt. It's something like 0.4 correlation to general IQ to like job placement and stuff like that. But I mean, if this is true, this generation is fucked. I mean, how do you find work for these people? Now, there's different forms of autism, right? There's a spectrum. Wow, I'm like, dude, I'm speechless. Actually, my brain is firing off. I'm like, I don't even know what to tell you guys. There's not much to tell you. Wow. We're gonna have to flesh that out later. Sheesh, man. By the way, I'm not beating up anybody with autism. It's just like 1 in 12. I mean, what are people saying about this? We already had all the data is just being ignored because RFK came along. Yeah, a massive cover up. Seems like it. I mean, maybe that's why people are struggling in education nowadays. And you hear me bitch, moan, and complain about it so much is because maybe I just got a bunch of autistic kids running around. I don't know. I'm not trying to be disrespectful for an asshole. I mean, it makes sense, right? There's a reason for it. I mean, I mean, this kind of is RFK's logic. It almost seems like amount of all the vaccines that are being given all of a sudden. And by the way, it also makes sense why our IQ dropped, right? I mean, if you got more people becoming autistic, like, I mean, sometimes some of these autistic kids are savants, though. You know, some of them are really smart. Sheesh, dude. Wow. Look at that, huh? Yeah, spike. What do you guys think? Do you think it's the... Well, let's ask you. What do you guys think? I have no idea, by the way. I don't know. Do you think this is autism? I appreciate that. Thanks, John. Do you think this is like... Do you think it's autism? Of course, autism. Do you think it's the vaccines? Do you think it's this... Like, what the hell's going on here? Is it all the processed crap? Because there wasn't as much processed stuff in the 70s as there is now. You know what I mean? FDA needs to be investigated? Maybe. You think it's in the toothpaste? You think the dentists need to be investigated? What do you guys think? I'm trying to read the chat here. What do you guys think it is? It has to be medication? You guys think so? I mean, because it happens during the development of the child, right? So there's something that a lot of women are ingesting or I could be wrong on this, but right, it happens at development. It's not like you're born fine and then you turn autistic, right? So there's something in the development that's going on with women. Damn you, women! It's your fault. Don't feel attacked. I'll try to break this down. What are you guys smoking ciggies and stuff like that while you're pregnant? What the hell's going on here, ladies? Like, I'm asking because you guys are an older group, right? Like, what's changed since you guys have been around? I wasn't alive in the 70s, so hell, I don't know. I was born in 89. I mean, I'm an 80s baby, but not really. I grew up in the 90s. But when the spike started happening, right? But I mean, what was it that you guys saw where it's like, did you start eating something different? You know, from the 70s into the 80s? I mean, was it the weed? I mean, what the hell are you guys doing out there? I had a very short temper as a kid, bad enough. I was medicated, must have grown out of it. I'm basically always even tempered now. Well, Krager, you are wearing a helmet and drooling into a drip tray now that you're older, but, you know, that will usually limit the amount of things that happen to you. I'm teasing. I love you. Brad, listen to me carefully. I'm listening. Not always, Brad. Not always during the development. It can happen at the hospital. Okay. So many antidepressants while prego, but that's just an idea. Yeah, maybe. Well, maybe I'll get a book on autism and read up on it, because clearly it's a major issue. They got rid of the smog. Yeah, you know, cell phones. Do you guys remember when that was that theory with cell phones that when you put your cell phone up to your ear, it causes a brain tumor? You guys remember that? When cell phones started getting big, all these people started getting brain tumors. They thought it had to do with the phone. But there's maybe the smog. Yeah, maybe there's something in that gasoline that was, you know, keeping us sane. Hell, I don't know. So my grandson got maybe the hospital. It's Trump's fault. Yeah, Lindsay. Yeah, freaking Lindsay. It ties in with vaccines. There are a depletion in a certain vitamin. I can't remember. I think, yeah, I'm willing. I'm open-minded on it. Obviously, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but I'm open-minded to it. Weed doesn't cause autism. Yeah, you better not, Jeffrey. You know you're full-blown autistic. Teasing. I'm a straight edge. I told you guys, I'll smoke a cigar here or there, like maybe once every 2 months or something, but I don't do drugs. I don't do anything like that. So people think I'm being sarcastic. I legitimately don't do anything. Like I'll take, like the most I'll do is like an ibuprofen, put it that way. And I got nothing against it. It's just not my thing. I think it's stinky. I don't understand. I like my brain functioning correctly. So I just never been into drugs. And also I grew up during the Reagan era, right? Drug free is the way to be. I guess Reagan's not really the 90s, but you understand what I mean. It rolled over. It rolled over. Well, we're going to end it there. I got to go on my run. If you guys are unfamiliar, I've been trying to stay in shape, but I do want to talk about this. A lot of you noticed my mug. So unbeknownst to you, my wife broke a couple mugs. So, and I love mugs, by the way. Not that I collect them, but, you know, I'm a sucker for seeing mom and pops. You know what I mean? They're out there. It's hot as hell. And, you know, she made this with her hands, you know, and by the way, I still can't believe, if you guys want to know, you guys know I'm a cheap ass, right? So This style of mug in like Sedona, Arizona is where we saw them originally, and they're like $40 to $60 for not even ones this big. And so when we saw them, and she had a $10 table, my jaw dropped because, dude, these are handmade, handcrafted for $10. Can you believe that? Did she throw the mugs at you? No, she loves me. I'm a nice person. So I'm like, you guys, look at the size of this thing. That's what she said, right? That's what some of you guys say to your wife. Look at the size of this thing. So I couldn't believe it. So anyways, if you guys want their you can order online. I mean, they're nice. And, you know, if you want, you could be like a Brago Garcia and beat your wife with it. But I don't recommend that. Or your husband. Sure. But I still just, anyway, so some of you noticed I had a new mug. I don't want you guys running around thinking I got like all these mugs hanging around, but the Bald Bradshaw mug is dirty because I don't wash it every morning. Yeah, little insight behind the scenes. I just rinse it out and I just pour more coffee into it. I'm a man. I'm not a bitch. I'm a man. Some of you are like, no, Brad, you're still a bitch. Alrighty, we'll end it there. Well, we're going to be back here tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, as we always do here, with more content. And we'll see what the news breaks overnight. I hope it's nothing bad. Can we just have a nice news day where we're looking at some good content of like maybe more Brandon Johnson acting like an idiot? Hell, I don't know. We'll figure it out for y'all. We'll make sure we do some good show prep this evening. But with that being said, thanks for joining me on Dark MAGA. Hopefully you guys had a nice time. It's always nice seeing the regulars here. And it gives an opportunity to branch out and reach a new audience that maybe we weren't able to reach in the morning because everyone's sleeping. With that being said, I love hanging out with you guys. Have a blessed evening. Stay safe. Eat some nice food. And well, I'll see you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here on the Bald Brad channel. Appreciate you, Patriots. Take care.